not without the screaming. An energy so stark, a Marshall Mathers without the rhymes. Like executing Beethoven music without the lines. You know something's missing, but you can't figure out why. Maybe it was done and fleeing and the music's about to die. It's like the Snoop without the dog, and a tour without the smoke. Biggie without the Smalls, Tyson without the Broke. Led without the Zeppelin, Strummer without the Clash. Paul without Lennon, like Johnny without the cash. Like Mick without Keith, and the band without the boss. Just like Angus without the Young, and Wings without the sauce. Guns without the Roses, Axl without Slash. A guitar without Jimmy, a finale without Mash. Mash, 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 mash. When life seems down and everything tattered, take a trip with us back to when the music mattered. When life seems down and everything tattered, take a trip with us back to when the music mattered. Music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered.
What's going on?
I love that jam, man.
Yeah,
Still do.
Welcome to When the Music Matters. My name's Ray Rout. That's Kris.
We're back.
We back as a pair again.
Mhm.
Second time in a row. Kris has left me, wants to watch hockey. Another time to battle fish in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
So how'd it go?
Off the hook. Good. We're averaging about 30 fish a day each.
Nice.
No bullshit. Real story.
You didn't fall into the water.
My buddy did. Trying to hook up the 9-9 kicker to the main engine right in the fucking drink. My dad's yelling at me because, doesn't matter how old you ever get, you're always 12.
Oh, shit.
Why didn't you grab that guy? I said, because he's fat and I'm skinny.
Yeah, we have
going in the fucking lake, man.
We have these conversations all the time, like just almost 40 years old, and I'm going to the bank to deal with my mortgage, and my in-laws have to come with us because God fucking forbid I do something adult by myself.
Oh no, I know. No, I'm 54. My dad's 76, and just shitting on me all the time. Like, and you don't argue with your dad. You just don't bother.
Oh no. I mean, I've never met your dad. You've met my dad.
I met Florida Ray. He should be on the show today.
You don't argue with Florida Ray about fucking.
That's pissing in the wind.
About anything.
No.
But we are back. Last week we had a dude on from a band called Chasing the Fallout in the UK, an up-and-coming pop-punk band out there. They're getting radio airtime. They were chosen by Bowling for Soup as track of the week. Really starting to come.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was a good show. And I realized that I'm a much better interviewer when you're not here because I think you just put me on these long digressions all the time.
I'm good at that. I'm the segue guy. Like, just fucking railroad the whole show. And he gets where he is. I want to see if he can recover. How does he handle the pressure? That's what people really want to know.
Yeah, we're like by myself. I just had this like easy interview flow. I did have a couple of things where I made the show about myself because why wouldn't I? That's what I do.
That's what you do. That's what you do. And your mic's solid this week.
Yeah,
we've been battling technical difficulties here on this fucking show.
Today was a rough day to try to get up, but 2 weeks ago we were on with Alexander Anderson, and Kris decided. I even did 3 mic checks before we started. My good, you're good. Show finishes. He's like, dude, your mic sounds fucked up.
It's kind of on me. I'll take shit on that one.
I realized my mic wasn't plugged in, so I did the whole show. So
I gave him that mic so I know what it sounds like, and it wasn't until like halfway through the show I was like, this is sounding rough, man. And then it's too late now. You got to ride it.
Well, what I really realized there was an issue was what I couldn't figure out. Like it all made sense at the end. What I couldn't figure out is you and Alexander were talking, and then I would try to say something, and you guys were just like talking over me all the time. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, and then I realized you guys couldn't hear me.
So we apologize if Ray sounded like he was dialing in from the moon.
Yeah, so Kris put me on to some fucking cleaned up Alexander's audio beautifully.
Oh, did you use it? Nice.
Oh yeah, all his echo was gone.
Awesome.
And then I just fucking sounded like the feedback was just me calling in from Saskatchewan trying to do this show.
Where I was fishing, that's about what it sounded like. But we've recovered since then. We've cleaned up our audio, our videos back. We're gonna endeavor to like come in earlier and do mic checks and video checks and shit because I had no video when it started.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway, enough about our technical bullshit. Let's get into the music.
let's get into the music. So we were scheduled to have a guest today. I feel that the different parts of Canada and time zones interfered with us today. So hopefully we'll have him back a different day. If he does show up at some point, because I did send him a message, we will drop him on.
We'll bring him
And
in if it'll work. Yeah.
okay, he's on his way. He's on his way.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
he's on his way.
Let's fucking ramble on until he gets in.
He thought it was 10 p.m. for him.
This happened to me lots. If anybody listening, watching does pods with people in different time zones, it can turn into a complete colostomy bag, and then you got to figure it all out. It's happened to me lots.
Yeah. So when he jumps on, we'll get him on here. So Kris, last Tuesday was Canada Day.
Yeah.
And I posted out a question on Instagram. First of all, I got to ask you, because a lot of people reacted to it on TikTok and on my Instagram and stuff. Did I make you cry a little bit?
No.
With my tribute?
I did appreciate it, though.
Did you? Because sometimes I feel like, I know sometimes I thank you and you just tell me to fuck off. So I wasn't sure.
Because I don't take thanks very well.
No, you're awful at it. When I was writing it.
On thanks. Just like, fucking don't thank me. It's just my job. I just went and did it.
When I was writing it, my wife said, this is going to piss him off. And I said, I know. I was like, but I would.
Kate knows me well enough now. Yeah, but I did appreciate it. You don't want a little fun fact.
Yeah.
Canada Day 1988 is when I joined the Army. That's when I signed the line. It's not a dotted line. I don't know where that comes from.
Oh, wow.
That's when I joined the Army. Yeah. I was sworn into the Canadian Armed Forces on Canada Day, July 1st, 1988.
So is that pre-basic training?
Well, that's day one. Then they usually just get the cock put to you.
That's day one. Then you just
welcome to the Canadian Armed Forces. And nowadays, like my buddy's kid just got sworn in 2 months ago, and he doesn't go on basic training until August. So he's on unpaid leave for 3 months.
They just have like prep time until they.
No, because we're so understaffed and so like there's just so many guys in the system because of lack of funding, which is allegedly about to change. So, but yeah, no, back then, fucking day one, sign here, in you go, boom, done. Off you go.
You've never wanted to do like basic and be like a drill sergeant, just screaming at people?
Oh, I did that for years.
Oh, did you? You did.
Oh,
yeah.
You did. Yeah. I worked at a place called the Royal Canadian Artillery Battle School, which ran basic training and basic artillery training. It actually was the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Is it okay? Can I not talk music for a second? Just ask you a question about that.
Sure.
I just have it. I would
sidekick.
It's our show. It's
our show. It's our show. I need to put more effort into it though.
I had that conversation with somebody on the weekend. But how do you balance that? Like, how do you balance being the ball breaking ass kicker, but still like help the kid? You know what I mean? Because you still have to be a leader, right? You're not just there just to kick the shit out of them. Like, how do you?
It's a skill set. Not everybody is good at it. I've seen guys that are. We'll use the term drill instructor because everybody's familiar with it. Some people are really shitty at it because they think they're just going to go up there and yell at these guys. And what you're trying to really do is build a team. And it's rewarding because you take, say, 30 individuals from all walks of life and you build them back into this cohesive team that takes care of each other. So I was always a group punishment guy. They don't like that anymore. Like, I loved it. One guy fails, everybody's doing push-ups, right? So that you're teaching those guys to help that guy. It's never about the fittest guy that's always at the front. Fuck that guy. Why is your buddy way back there? He's struggling. Get the fuck back there and help him out. Like it's that game. You know what I'm saying? So if it's team or nothing, team or bust. So go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say it's a very sports mentality, right? Like,
yeah, it is. It really is. Well, it should be. Yep. Pick a sport, football, hockey, whatever. It has to be that way because you're trying to build a team. So I was good at that and did it a lot, and I enjoyed it because at the end of it, when the guys that make it come out, they're a completely different person than they were when they came in, right? And now they're on the team. Now you're part of the tribe.
Well, again, I want to publicly thank you for everything you and your colleagues, brothers, sisters, everybody in the armed forces did.
Cheers, brother. Thank you very much.
Okay, so it was Canada Day, and I put a post out on Instagram, and I posted a question, and I asked, what is your favorite Canadian artist or band? And before I get your answer, I'm just going to give you some of the responses that we got.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So we got Simple Plan. We got Nickelback, which I assumed was a joke because Nickelback sucks.
We'll circle back.
We got a few Nickelbacks. A lot of Rush. A couple of Guess Who's. One BTO. Only a couple of Neil Youngs. We had a vote for Drake. Drake made the list.
Really?
Yeah, Gordon Lightfoot got a couple of votes. Of course, I got a ton of Tragically Hip.
I was going to say that's the resounding one.
Yeah, Tragically Hip, and then I said Jeff Martin and the Tea Party. I made them as lead singer of the Tea Party. That's my favorite artist. So I want to know for you. You're sitting there on Canada Day. You got to pick your favorite Canadian artist, favorite Canadian band. Who is Army Kris picking?
See, this is where it gets a little bit challenging because I don't really have favorite artists or bands because I constantly shift my emotional musical connection to what I'm listening to at any given time. And this isn't a cop-out, right? Like, the easy answer is going to be the Tragically Hip. And I am a Nickelback fan because I like 3 chords to the fucking wall, balls to the wall, rock and roll. And they do that. And I don't give a shit what the haters say. So it's tough to pick. So I'm going to spin it a bit, just a little bit, to not duck your question, but kind of answer it in a roundabout way. If you're on a desert island with an unlimited, iPod, what's the one album? And my answer would be Fully Completely.
We're talking Canadian album?
Yeah. Album, not artist.
Canadian album.
You got one album you can listen to. If it's not Canadian, it's Back in Black by AC/DC. But if it's Canadian, it's Fully Completely for me.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say shit.
Because artist is easy.
I
like this guy, or I like this is my. But I don't have favorite bands. I've just never been that guy. I used to say in the early '80s it was Platinum Blonde.
I want to throw out that I prepped you for this question, and then you just threw me for a fucking
this right under the
this is right under the bus.
I do.
I'm gonna go.
He gives me the easiest question ever. I'm like, no, I'm gonna fucking get him.
I'm gonna go Simple Plan, Live at the Hard Rock.
Solid pick.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite albums. I think it's a great album.
Yep, there you go.
But I
just can't land on a favorite artist, whether it's Canadian or not. It's my musical taste / mood doesn't work that way.
Well, I had this epiphany earlier this week. We were talking about all the concerts that we're going to this year, and we started this year with Theory of a Dead Man. That was our first one.
Yeah.
Jeff Martin, of course, opened up, so 2 Canadian artists right off the hop. Then I saw Joan Jett and Billy Idol, an American and an Englishman.
Awesome.
Then we're going to Our Lady Peace, another Canadian band. Collective Soul's opening up, not Canadian, right? Collective Soul's not Canadian, or are they Canadian?
I don't think so.
I don't believe they are.
You got a busy schedule, man.
I do.
For music.
And then we go to a couple more American bands. Yeah, they're American. They're from Georgia. Then
That'll be cool.
We go see Train and Edwin McCain in August, and then I just picked up tickets in December to see a trio of Canadian bands. We're going to see Headstone, Finger 11, and Tea Party playing in December.
On that fan mail list, Headstones didn't come up. Finger 11 didn't come up.
Headstones and Finger 11 did not come up. So here's a funny thing about Headstone, and then our guest is here, so we'll finish this up and then let him in.
Awesome.
But here's a funny thing about Headstones. So we went last year. We went to Big Shiny Saturday here in Toronto at the Sobeys Bowl, and it was like just a '90s fucking nostalgia concert, right?
That's my shit right there.
90s Canadian nostalgia. Biff Naked opens up the first show, or the first. Trouble Charger comes out second. I Mother Earth.
I like them too, man.
Yeah. I Mother Earth plays third. Headstone plays fourth. Tea Party headlines. Fucking wicked show.
Yeah.
We get in the car. We're on the way home. My wife looks at me and goes, fucking Headstone's just a ripoff of the Tragically Hip.
I would have pulled over.
And then you start listening, and they really are. They really are. He's a Gord Downey wannabe if you listen to him.
Oh, don't say that.
But the funniest thing is like I heard an interview with him, and like they were best friends growing up, like as kids.
There's a lot of influence. So
yeah,
and at the time that was the style of Canadian music. But anyway,
But
Bring it right
listen to When Nothing Matters, you know, or when nothing, you know what I mean. And it's if you close your eyes, you can hear Gord Downey sing the song. Anyways,
you can do that with lots of bands. But anyway,
you can.
We got weeks and weeks to argue about this shit. So
we do too many weeks. Okay, look, it was really entertaining tonight or this week, Kris, preparing for our guest. So I was introduced to Teo Frost through like TikTok. It's what I do, right?
Yep.
I troll TikTok and I look for
trying
guys.
to figure it out.
Yeah, have you posted a video yet?
I haven't even figured out how to do that yet.
Okay, so found him on TikTok.
Like 6 fucking notifications a minute. I'm like, I don't know how to turn any of this shit off. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, found him on TikTok.
Found him on TikTok, heard a song, Such Is Life, went on Spotify, listened to it, good track. Sort of a throwback pop punk song, you know, reminded me of that Simple Plan, Newfound Glory, even a little bit of Sum 41. That was kind of the feel I was getting out of it. But you know me, I do like zero fucking research. I just like hear a song I like. I'm like, hey, come do our show. Yeah. And if they'll do it, they'll do it. If they won't, they won't.
Cold caller, man.
Absolutely. And if they do it, they do it. If they don't, fuck them. Right? Like, it's just the way it is. Look, when we hit it big and we're famous, I'm going to remember every motherfucker that said yes and every motherfucker that just ignored us or said no and do it. So anyways, but then I started looking into more of Teo's shit. Right. And I listened to How You Make Me Feel. I listened to Talk About It. And we're starting to talk about some like modern hip hop songs.
Which is cool because I love how you just find these guys. And
yeah,
I listen to it. I'm like, fuck, who's this guy? This is great shit, man. Really good.
Yeah, and he's got these songs that sound like they could be on like any top 40, honestly, on radio, which, you know, we can debate after whether that's a good thing or not in this day and age because you and I are not fans of radio. But
no.
So like I initially went into this show thinking like, hey, we're gonna have another deep conversation about pop punk like that, and we just had one last week, and I thought like maybe I fucked this up the way I scheduled these shows, right?
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's sort of an early beginnings thing. You know what I mean? And we're going to be talking about a multi-genre artist, and we haven't got into that yet. Multi-genre artists, and it's going to be fun and exciting to talk about him. And I really want to pick his brain. So, without further ado, here's a little clip from his song "Such Is the Life." When we come back, we will be with Teo Frost.
When the heart breaks, it doesn't break even. I'm here standing alone while you're leaving. It's a mess, but ain't such as life. I knew my gut instincts were right. When the heart breaks, it doesn't break even. I'm here standing alone while you're leaving. It's a mess, but ain't such as life. I knew my gut instincts were right.
Teo, how are you?
Good. How about you guys?
Good, buddy. You made her, man.
I did. Sorry.
We're trying to figure out where you were living.
I'm in like Vancouver outskirts.
Oh, you're in Van. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Welcome to the show,
I
buddy.
apologize, boys.
Coming on.
That's
It's all good.
bad.
So we bullshitted our way through it till you got here.
Yeah. I thought you heard me trying to say fucking BC names a couple of weeks ago and just said, fuck this guy. I'm not coming on the show. So
Can't say Okanagan. Fuck.
Again,
no, this is actually the first time I've ever done a podcast, so I'm pretty stoked about it, honestly.
Oh, that's awesome. It's kind of our first time too, a little bit, I guess. No.
You would fucking think it was.
Listen, Teo, I want to just jump right into it if we can.
No worries.
When people discover sort of your full track list, as I was going through this weekend, like what is their first reaction? Because again, my first introduction to you was Such Is Life, and then I heard your other stuff, and I was like, oh, this is very fucking different, right? Like, what's that first reaction when they find out you are kind of this multi-genre, multi-talented artist?
I think you kind of hit the nail on the coffin, so to say, just with what you said. Top 40 kind of they come to me and they wonder why, and this is me trying to be as humble as I can, why I'm not on the radio per se, or why I don't, because I feel like I'm half decent at writing music. And I can hear something and try to put it into words. I write a lot about heartbreak because I know everyone goes through it too. So it's that's usually their first reaction is why aren't you don't have as many followers as you should, or you don't have this and that as you should. So it's usually pretty nice.
Yeah, and I will give you a little bit of a rub there. When you first popped up, and I tell all my guests now, like my TikTok algorithm is literally just like an up and coming artist. Like that's the
Yeah.
only thing that, and the occasional dog video because I like to laugh at dog videos, right? Like it's the two things that pop up on my TikTok. So when you popped up, I'm not even kidding you. When I went to click on your profile, I thought this fucking guy is gonna be like 20,000, 30,000. He's not gonna want fucking anything to do with us. And then when I saw your follower count, I was like, what the fuck, right? And then and your videos too aren't, and this is no offense to any of the other guests we've had on this show or the ones we'll have after, but like your videos too don't even follow that same stupid metric of just the same old tire. Like you got some comedy in your videos, you've got some shit, you put some effort into your content. So look, we're still growing ourselves here, but we hope if we can give you any rub, like I really do hope that it goes.
Same goes to you guys.
But I do want to throw a one tough question at you kind of right off the hop and get this started, and then I'll turn it over to Kris.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I was thinking about over the last couple of days, and I debated whether to ask you this question or not, but I think about some of the multi-genre artists that have made it big, or the ones that have kind of transitioned, and the two that really came to my mind are Kid Rock and Taylor Swift. Obviously made huge transitions.
Yeah.
And both of them have been heavily criticized for that as well. Do you have any worry about
Kid
people
Rock does not give one fuck. Taylor might.
No, I know. But my question is, well, do you give one fuck? Do you at all have an issue, or do you think that people could have an issue with you because could you be perceived? Here's probably the better question. Could you be perceived as somebody just chasing the top 40?
No, because I love hit music. I honestly, one of my biggest inspirations from doing just genre bending is like Post Malone. That guy can, as much as he uses his autotune and people he's controversial and this and that, it's the same thing as Taylor Swift and Kid Rock. I look at it as like, I like catchy music, and I'm sure millions of other people love it too. So why not make the music that I like to listen to? And whether that be any genre, doesn't matter to me. I grew up listening to pop punk because of my older sister. I don't know. I grew up listening to lots of hip hop when all my friends were listening to 90s hip hop. I grew up listening to like newer modern hip hop, but yeah, I love all music. Music is music, man. And music is always subjective too. So people are going to like it.
Definitely aligned on that, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I totally feel you, dude. I put out a fucking country, or not a country, a road trip playlist, and there was a bunch of country songs on there, which over the last 8 episodes I haven't revealed that I got some country in my repertoire. And on not on TikTok, but over on Facebook, I got fucking roasted. You know what I mean? Like,
good.
Well, yeah,
man.
because
Fuck
my
them.
my playlist the week before was like Headstone and fucking Our Lady
I
Peace.
still
You know
owe
what I
you
mean?
a playlist. I don't give two shits.
People just suck though, man. The internet is the worst place. It's the most toxic place in the world.
100% it is. It's just
Like-
looking there. They get up every day and go, "Who am I going to go hate today?"
Straight up. Yeah.
You know?
I'm not a fan of it, but the only way to get my music out there is
It's the medium you are now stuck with. So like it or hate it, this is the medium, that's evolved rapidly, and that's what you're stuck with. So you got to fucking deal with the haters too.
I don't hate it either completely. I do like making the content. I think it's quite fun to do, especially when people want to join in and do collaborations and such like that. So it is exciting. It's fun, but it's a popularity contest at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
So.
Kris, you want to ask a question? Or you want me just to carry this show?
No, I kind of want to jump in and like contribute a bit.
That sounds good.
Instead of just fucking railroad you all the time. So Teo, like when because you're the first multi-genre guy I've spoken to.
Okay.
How did that evolve? Is it a personal? Okay, we've covered your love for broadband music, which I massively respect. But you were doing hip hop, right?
Yep.
And a bunch of other shit, and did you just follow the flow and just go where your heart and soul went?
I think
or did you say I just want to try out something different? Was it like technical or emotional or a combination of? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you got to just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
Let's see what sticks.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
To me, I don't know. I started with hip hop because usually that's what SoundCloud rappers do or people do. Like I just love music
because there's a lot of risk with that.
Oh yeah,
right. If you're trying to make being an artist a career and pay you, and you start shifting genres, that can be risky. So that
for sure. I think I just go with the flow, honestly. And if people like what they hear, and they want to listen to something else.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be boxed in, man. As cliche as that sounds, I really
Oh,
don't.
it is cliche, but it's also accurate.
Yeah,
right?
I love music, like I said. So I would rather be me and wholly me. And if you don't like the music, then everyone grew up listening to pop punk. I don't know how the fuck anyone wouldn't want to listen to it, or a newer style rap song.
So did you get any flow back from the people you work with? Or some blowback, not flowback. Everybody was fucking cool in the gang to say, yeah, man, let's try some different shit.
I wish I could say that I have tons of fans messaging me all the time on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, but I don't. But the people that I show it to, my close friends and like a lot of my family and a lot of people now have a lot more followers than I did even just 2 months ago. But
bandmates and production and everybody in behind the scenes or that you worked with were all cool with transition or evolution and whatever you want to call it.
I kind of just do this all myself. I get these beats. These beats are made online, so I just purchase them, and I can play guitar, just not very well.
You're like me. I'm less than very well.
I'm essentially, I guess I don't know. I don't look at
one-man band,
one-man show. Like I don't mix it. I have an engineer that I work with, and he was when I messaged him those songs that completely changed. He was like, oh, this is crazy, man. Like, you're sure you want to mix this? And I was like, yeah, for sure. Why not?
That's awesome.
I don't know.
Man.
And he
Good
had
for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
well,
exciting.
That makes it easy then. So you answer my question. There's nobody to argue with except yourself.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I could, like I said, I sit there and second guess every single thing that I put into the microphone. But like at the same time, somebody's gonna fuck with it. If they don't, then that didn't work. Try something else.
Sure.
No, I love that. And I think I love your answer too. Like just when I was listening to you talk there and it basically said either, well, like it or fucking don't. Like,
yeah.
But I also love too that you brought up the Post Malone comparison, because that's not the comparison that I thought of today. And it's funny because the first thing you think of are the negatives around the multi-genre and cross-genre people, right?
Yeah.
But then you don't think, because like I remember even back in the day, like Fred Durst taking a bunch of shit because he was trying to be a rapper while he was playing rock. But 30 years later, Limp Bizkit's still selling out stadiums, right? So I mean,
Limp Bizkit's fucking awesome.
Well, look at when Gordon Downey wrote "Coke Machine Glow," which I saw him do live at the Folk Hippie Fest thing here. And I'm like, I fucking hated it and left.
Music is subjective, man. And
but you know what? He had the balls, rest in peace, Gord. You're the greatest, to go do his own project and give it a go. And I respect that, right?
Yeah.
And look, at some point, Bob Dylan fucking played an electric guitar, right? Like it's just, it's the evolution of music. What I'm interested in, Teo, is, so as a songwriter myself, who I cross genre across rock, I actually write more of a heavy metal sort of operatic stuff for myself that nobody's fucking interested in. So I write it for me. And then I write this like sort of sarcastic Theory of a Dead Man type of fucking like rock shit, just, to make people happy.
Yeah.
But this happens to me. So I'm wondering if this happens to you. Do you ever start a song in one place and it kind of carries you to another? Like I've been writing some bullshit, like, sort of bluesy rock song that turns into this fucking complicated, like almost, theatrical piece that I put together, which no one ever hears because no one cares about it. But do you ever start like at a hip hop that kind of turns into a rock song, or a rock song that you're like, shit, you know what, this works better as a hip hop song?
It's that, honestly, no. I would say lyrics. Yeah, lyrics change over time. I'll start writing a verse, and then halfway through that verse, it turns into something completely different, and I go, oh shit, okay, well maybe I'll have to rewrite the first half of this verse, or, but I'm all down for experimental stuff, man. It's what makes you happy at the end of the day, really, and
What do you prioritize first, lyrics or melody?
Definitely melody. Lyrics
are really.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've always been a huge melody guy. I listen to a lot of folk music. I get a lot of my melodies from, a lot of inspiration from it, like Watch House and a couple other bands. But yeah, I love melodies, man. They're what holds us. They're what keeps the song from, like, it keeps you listening. In my eyes, they're in my ears at least. So
So you,
Lyrics.
because I don't know shit about songwriting, but I do have an interesting fun fact in a minute here, because it's
Okay.
about you right now. Do you, so you think of the melody first and then try to apply whatever the fuck you scribble down on a pen and a paper and apply it? Does it
Yeah.
work like that?
There's going, if Ray's on TikTok a lot, then there's my algorithm is just full of it, where it's guys will make a song while on TikTok live or whatever, and they'll just pick a beat or make the beat and then just start saying gibberish and like things like that.
Yeah.
up
And
down.
then it comes after.
And then you write the lyrics after. So
Oh, that's fucking wild.
mine's
man.
a mix between both of those things. So I'm much
I thought everybody
rather-
was like a poet and they wrote their shit and then got the band in the room and said, let's figure out what works with this, not the other way. That's what I believe to this day. So that's not accurate.
well, it's
necessarily.
all different for everybody though.
Sure, yeah.
It's I
Here's
don't know.
your
When I
fun
write
fact.
a cool lyric, I get really fucking stoked for sure. And then
Okay,
like
Teo, you were a hip hop guy, so you know Everlast.
Everlast, yeah.
You know how he writes?
Pardon?
You know how he writes his songs?
How?
Storyboards. He draws pictures. He doesn't
Really?
write lyrics. I'm shit you not, man.
See?
Everlast draws fucking pictures, which turns into his lyrics of his song. I lost
Everybody has their own
my
way.
mind when I heard that, when I found that. This was years ago, but that's what he does. He draws it all out first. Shitty little stick man or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's
seen a man at the store begging for you change. And he's got a picture like some bum fucking like what the fuck, man? That's real. That's real shit.
yeah.
So it's interesting to learn about writing processes because I don't know anything about that. So how Ray does it and how you do it, it's so cool to hear how that
Mhm.
how that evolves, how that process works.
I'm so interested always, like, and I'll probably get more and more into your songwriting process because that's really where my interest lies. Because I always consider myself a songwriter more than a musician. I would rather write songs and sell my songs to somebody else and let them go make it famous and just, you know, Kris knows I'm not a guy who likes going on stage. I have tremendous stage fright and all this kind of stuff. But
he does better than he thinks.
but I love songwriting, and I love to get into it because everybody. So we had Andy from Chasing the Fall last week, and he's a massive Disney fan, and he was basically telling me like when he writes, he thinks of it like a Disney movie, and he segments his you know songs by scenes and by this is where it's got to get theatrical and this is where it's got to get this, and I'm
Really?
yeah, and then you hear Everlast where it's this, and you start with the melody, and I always start with the lyric, but I start with the chorus and work my way backwards. I always think like, okay, like I always start with the hook. Like I always start like, what's the hook? What is the song about? Because the chorus is what the song is about. And then you tell the story with the rest of it. Right. So I start with the chorus and I work my way out. And then I start working in bridges and this and that. I definitely have a formula. Like I've been listening to a lot of my newer shit and thinking, fuck, everything sounds the same. So I've been trying to challenge myself to different. Do you ever, even as a guy who's multi-genre, do you ever find yourself having to challenge yourself because it becomes not too easy, but routine at times? Like, do you ever routined in your songwriting process?
No. Like you said, sometimes I'll write the chorus first and go back and have to write the verses or rewrite the verses or rewrite the chorus based on what the verses are doing. Most of the time I'm just excited to do the lead, the verse ending, or the bridge, I guess people want to call it, into the chorus, because that's like where the beat's going to drop or whatever is going to go down. It's going to be the most exciting part of the song. So and that I think came from hip hop. Mostly listening to it is just like they'll cut the beat or
16 bars.
Yeah, and it'll drop into the chorus and it'll be something super exciting, right? And
the closest I can come to this is to even semi-relate, and then I'll just stop talking because I know what I'm talking about, is I have like listened to music and listened to just the instrumental and rewrote lyrics the way I think they should be.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, so I get them. And now I'm starting to get, I'm like, wait a minute, I can kind of relate to what he's saying here. I listened to somebody else's shit and just dumped their fucking vocals and then rewrote it the way I would like to hear it.
That's freestyling, bro.
Pen and a paper. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was in high school, one of my hobbies, this is how cool I was one of my hobbies was like I would listen to like 70s and 80s like rock songs like Back in Black and that type of thing. And when they'd get into the interludes and you'd have this kind of long stretch of interlude, I'd put hip hop lyrics to it. Like I'd write rap lyrics to it because it was all 4/4 beat. So you'd get to like, you know, Back in Black, and then it'd go into his little solo piece. And I would just come in and drop like 12, 16 bars, and it would go right back into their chorus.
That's still around, because when I DJ, which I don't do any anymore because I really don't like people. I'm using a lot of stems, and I'll take fucking Run DMC Tougher Than Leather, and I'll put Tupac in there.
Yeah.
Right, just to change it because I think it sounds better, and then I'll cut back into the actual thing and keep it going. So
I mean, I took that Amy Winehouse song, "Good for You." No, Good for You. I took it, and I just wanted the beat because I thought the beat was really sick and
good beat. Isolate that and roll with it. Yeah,
I wrote
that's fucking
lyrics
cool,
to
man.
that song, and then I've taken lots of like samples of vocals on 2000s era hip hop songs and put them and made them a completely different sound to put it on my music. I mean, obviously you can't clear that stuff because I'm not.
No. There'll be
so
none of that.
That's the deep cuts on YouTube and SoundCloud and whatnot.
So as we kind of talked about the top, I think your songs are top 40 ready. You're confused why you're not top 40 ready, as I think you should be. You should be, right? Because you're I'm not like, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you and say I loved every song I listened to you, but you had enough on there.
You can pick up with some 41 left off. Let's go, bro.
Do you think though that, and we were talking about this with Alexander Anderson, who's like a folk country singer out in Nova Scotia, with streaming and social media and that type of thing now, radio is something that's kind of dying. Like I don't really know the last time I listened to radio. Do you think that that's what's making it more difficult for you now? Because I'm thinking back to like 2002, like Kiss 95 here, which was like our hip hop like top 40. They were always desperate for Canadian content because they had to, because of, you know what I mean? The can rules.
Yeah.
Do you think that streaming and social media is actually could be, as much as it allows you to flash yourself to the world, do you think it could be a hindrance on you actually getting that playtime that maybe you would have got back in the day?
I would call playlists radio now. That's people, I've done it. You go on websites that allow you to submit your music for playlisting and things like that. It's kind of the same thing, except I feel like there's so much competition now too. There's so much music out there. There's so much quality music out there too.
Because the distribution platforms are 100 times bigger than they ever were, right?
Yeah, and they're easier for schmucks like me to go on the internet and type.
Yeah, back in the day, you go send your shit to the local university radio station, get some play, and then crank it up. And that's not now. Fuck it, man. No. There's 80 platforms you could upload your shit to.
So I would say it's not a hindrance, but I think a lot of people struggle with even just putting their shit out into the internet, right? They're afraid of what people are going to say or think of them, and I've just never had that bone in my body. I really don't give a fuck.
Thank God.
So
if people in this world would just care less, it would be a better world.
I agree.
To say that.
This is an every week conversation Chris and I have, by the way, just how people need to care less just about everything.
Just a little bit.
But I'm interested too about like your promotional piece, because so I come from a day where it was all about the music. You were grinding, you were doing shows, like there was no, I think Napster existed at that time and you weren't getting your shit on Napster. You know what I mean? Like it was, and I look at it now and I think, but one thing I didn't have to deal with was being half a musician and half a content creator and trying to mix those both worlds. I'm interested, how much time do you put into your content creation and how much time do you put into your, music writing and how do you mash it all together?
Oh, that's a great question, because it's going to be a shitty one to hear, because it's probably more so into my content than it is even my music. It's tough, man. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're working so hard. And I'm like, making the content is pretty easy. It's just a lot of editing, and I don't know, I have some computer skills, so I know at least how to do it. But the music part is definitely what I would want to do. But the content, I would say it takes a lot longer for sure.
Do you feel pressure to go viral?
Yes and no. I didn't really care too much about it after I got out of high school, because I was like more in high school. I had big dreams as a young child. And then I was completely okay with just working and making music and having my friends and family hear it and just caring about that. But if it happens, it happens, man. I'm not going to stress myself out about it. I mean, obviously,
Is that the thing these days? Is like to get viral?
Oh,
Is that
that's
the
totally
driver?
what it is.
Like you're
Yes.
talking to a fucking old man now, right?
Yeah.
Damn, 54, boys.
You pay for views. You pay for promotion. You pay. That's probably how you've seen my shit, Ray. Is like I promoted it. I paid a very little amount, but
But still, you're paying.
Yes, you're paying to promote it. You're paying to sometimes get on playlists. The one song I have with another guy on there, it's called And. That we paid like over $300 to put it into playlisting, and it almost has 10,000 streams now. So
are you getting your ROI on that? Return on investment?
You don't even fucking know what an ROI is in the digital world. So why are you asking questions like that?
I'm a fucking, I know what ROI is, buddy.
I got my first.
I'm not hitting it.
In the digital world?
No, I don't know anything about the digital world.
It's definitely an expensive hobby, and I don't really even call it a hobby anymore. It's just kind of a second job at this point now. But it's not a lot of return on investment at the moment, but you got to bet on yourself at the end of the day. Honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
These days, so these platforms are what is driving music, which
Completely.
I've only recently learned.
Yeah.
From Ray, right? Because Ray goes, no, this is how it works now.
Yeah.
He's chasing TikTok, looking for artists and stuff, and I'm just like figuring out how if I can get my cassette player in my '88 B350 camper van going so I can pop in some tapes. But it's not like that anymore.
You could write the greatest song in the entire world, and it be a top 40 hit. It have the best lyrics, the most awesome beat or whatever behind it, but no one fucking hears it because you don't have a following.
So is the label still a thing, or is it dying?
I'd say the huge labels are definitely a thing for sure, but
But the independents are all kicking off.
The independents are definitely kicking off, and that started with, I think like way back or like early 2000s. I think then people started realizing they wanted to own their masters and things like that.
Sure, I fucking don't blame them.
Yeah.
And don't forget, like a lot of the labels today outside of like Interscope and some of the bigger ones that still kind of exist, like they're all owned by other artists.
Yeah.
Like fucking Chad Kroeger makes more money owning other people's music and just being a label than he does being a part of Nickelback, right?
Yeah.
Like he makes a fortune. He discovered Theory of a Dead Man. He discovered some Canadian people that's made him a lot of money. Teo, I want to know, is there there might be multiples, but if you were to say like, hey, these are like the kind of the artists that I model myself after, or they not model, but kind of influence of music. We all have these different influences. By the way, I loved at the end of Such Is Life when you're just like, I hope Blink-182 hears this.
Yeah.
Right? I laugh. But what are the kind of bands, artists, rappers, hip-hoppers, holy fuck, R&B artists, whatever.
Yeah.
Who do you kind of mold yourself after, model yourself after, based on their influence?
I think no one's gonna know who this is, but he was a Toronto rapper who turned into an R&B artist. His name's Russell. I wear pretty much every shirt that I have. I'm just like a huge fanboy. Met him a few times. Yeah, definitely a huge inspiration for me in the rap R&B side of things. I would say I listen to a lot of country. I think lately, and this is a controversial take because everybody hates him too, but MGK switched over to pop punk. That's kind of what kind of made it cool again.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he did a really fucking good job at it. And I didn't really care for his rap too much back in the day, but
no, you should talk to Eminem, and then he had to like change genres.
Exactly,
that did not fucking go well.
There's another inspiration too. Eminem is the GOAT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Drake, just ultimate hit maker. I do like some underground artists, but I do gain a lot of inspiration from just like new school hip hop and pop punk and the Paradox. Actually, I don't know if you guys have seen them on.
Fucking love the Paradox.
Yeah.
They're fucking awesome, man.
So
Awesome.
just so you know, the Paradox is one of the inspirations to why this show exists today.
Really, eh?
Yeah, because I was kind of people who watch us here don't know this. I was kind of a sort of a big deal in the sports world. Like I had, a couple 100,000 of my following and worked for some networks and was doing really well. And then kind of gave up the whole content game a little while ago, got a job as a VP of content and marketing somewhere and thought, what, I'm just going to work a full-time job, make a lot of money, whatever. And then I kind of missed this. And Kris and I, we worked for a network together. And it was sitting at the pool at my wedding in February in Dominican. We started just shooting the shit about, you want to do something. But I heard the paradox.
We said September.
Yeah.
And you called me in a fucking week. We're doing this.
Once I got but it all came. I was always looking and wanting to do something with music, because as much as I got known as the sports guy, and I do know a lot about sports, music has always been my passion. Then I heard the paradox and I was like, holy shit, like it was that old school, pop punk that I grew up with. And it made me start to think like, okay, I want to start talking about when the music mattered. Like I want to start talking about my music. And then I know Kris is from a different era of me, and I wanted him to talk about his music. Yeah. And that is somehow transformed into us interviewing up and coming artists. I don't
Which is awesome.
Because now that's the music that matters to me, because I really do. Someone asked me what my goal was for this show, right? Outside of making money. Right, which obviously that's everybody's goal eventually, is to get paid for what they do. I said I got 2 goals. I said, number 1, I want to go on tour one day where I bring like 4 bands with us, and we're like the hosts. You know what I mean? Yeah. We do some shit in between. And I'm like, number 2, I want to be able to come on here and be like, yo, I knew fucking Teo Frost when he was just some fucking dude on TikTok.
Yeah,
No,
that drives the name of the show, because I mean, me and Ray could come on every week and talk about our favorite music. And make a bunch of socials about it and kick it out there. But it's like, no, I want to get, I'm aligned with what Ray did. It's the right thing. Let's get some up and coming guys. There's some guys who've been in the game a long time that are trying to move and shake. And tell me when, your drivers, when the music mattered, how it got there. That's what the show's about.
Just be glad you guys aren't angry old heads like a lot of people are, that are just like past the age of 30 and they just only stay in their box of music that,
no. Fuck shit changes all the time.
You guys are interviewing up and coming artists, which is super exciting. It's
yeah. And dude, I'm from the 6, so I am very aware of who Russell is. You
are? I mean?
Oh, of course I am. Yes. Oh, okay. I don't. Maybe he's not popular out in I don't know what area code's out in Vancouver, but in the 416, he has a following here, right? Like I'm gonna be honest with you.
205. I'm in the 780.
When it comes to Toronto and the surrounding area of Toronto, the 905 and the 416, that's it, right? I'm actually in the 905. I'm just north of Toronto, but it's easier for this show to say Toronto. But if you're from the 905, the 416, we take fucking pride with the musicians and artists that, dude, I'm digressing, but I was on a fucking podcast 2 years ago, James D. Fiore.
Blackballed.
Yeah, blackballed. And I dropped this name, Georgie Porgy. And Georgie Porgy was this fucking hip-hop artist from the Danforth here in Toronto. And he was from like the 2001 era. And he was big here because he could fucking flow, but he didn't curse. And he didn't talk about gangs, and he didn't talk about shit. He was trying to be a clean rapper, but not like the corny Will Smith way. You know what I mean? Like he was trying, and he had to, and fucking James, who lives in the middle of God butt fuck nowhere here in Ontario, knew who Georgie Porgy was. And I didn't believe him at first. Right? I'm like, you don't know fucking Georgie Porgy. Yeah. And he just starts dropping tracks. And I'm like, holy fuck, you know Georgie Porgy.
That's funny.
And then, it's when you start to realize, like, anybody who's like, you'll hear me talk about like Finger 11 all the time, like because they grew up just down the street from me. Hear me talk about Sum 41 just down the road that way. Yeah. Avro, we take a lot of pride in our hometown local musicians.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, very aware of Russell. Very aware of Russell. Very aware.
Perfect.
Look, we're kind of coming to the end here and wrapping up. So we have this new segment that Kris doesn't even know about right now, but it's going to be
go away fishing for a week, and he's changed all the shit.
No, it's just you know what? This is the perfect actually show to do this, because Teo was the first artist that was just very honest about, like, I'm probably more of a content creator than a musician right now because I need to be, and I've wanted somebody to be fucking honest about it with me, and they just wouldn't be. So I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
And I'm calling all of you out. because I see all the time you guys put into your socials. So I'm calling you out, but I appreciate what you did here.
Yeah.
So this is a rapid fire question, and this is purely so I can get sound clips for socials. This
Sounds
is
good.
purely sound.
Sounds
So
good.
I'm just gonna bang them through. Just give me your answer, maybe a couple of reasons why. Okay. So what is the best way to listen to music? Vinyl, cassette, tape, CDs, or streaming?
I'm gonna be honest. Streaming, it's just easy. It's the easiest way to do it.
What's your current favorite song?
Current favorite song. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh no, you got me. Oh, probably Cliche by MGK right now.
What is the best party song of all time?
In my personal opinion, I would say like something like House Party by Meek Mill.
What is the most heart-wrenching breakup song of all time?
Heartbreak by Russell.
That's a good track.
Yeah.
And last, what is the best, and I was trying to figure out a name, what is the best making love song that's out there? Getting down on a Saturday night with your woman. What's the best making love song?
This is digging deep, man.
I'm gonna go with probably something by Jeremiah, like Birthday Sex or something silly like that. Honestly,
Perfect.
Gotta
Tell
get the
one,
drummer.
Chris,
You gonna ask me the same questions?
at another time. This is for the guest.
Okay, because okay, good, good.
You had answers, didn't you?
Because my answers are way the fuck different.
What's your making love song, Chris?
Feel like making love, Kid Rock version.
Kid
Look
Rock
at you.
version is way better, and I'm gonna get
There you
hated
go.
for saying that, but I completely agree.
Actually, Chris, Chris, I want to let Teo go because he's already been generous with his time and we
All
fucked
right.
up time zones
Appreciate
and
you,
everything
brother.
else. But what is your favorite? CD. You're interesting being an old man.
Digital. Everybody's like, vinyl's coming back. I'm like, fuck off, man. I used to have to gun tape a quarter to the needle, and like, no. I don't believe that shit. Digital. It's just pure science.
So for me, it's CDs. I'll be real with you, and it's
Well, that's
nothing.
digital. It's digital,
Yeah,
right? It's
digital.
clean digital. So I agree with that.
Yeah, nothing to do with nostalgia.
No.
It is the cleanest sound you can get for music. Like if you really want to listen to music,
First
because
thing in my car was a fucking 8-track. Okay, I had a 75 4-door Cutlass Supreme 8-track.
Look,
Trust me, it's not better.
and I love streaming. I pay for streaming services, and it's so
Yep,
much easier
me
to put playlists and shit together, not to sit there and burn a CD. But if you want to listen to just like for pure sound, there nothing is
CD.
it listens better than a CD.
100%.
Better than vinyl?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely better than vinyl.
I hate. Look, I am not a. Are you a vinyl
All you
guy?
vinyl, we're gonna get.
I
shit talk
just
in the
started a
comments
vinyl
for
collection.
the shit talk that's coming.
I
about
am.
vinyl, fuck
I
off.
am not
Go-
a
go-
vinyl
go-
guy. I don't understand the.
I like
outside
vinyl.
of
I got
this-
lots of vinyl, but I'm going with CD. I don't have a CD player anymore, but when I did, that's the cleanest audio and it's pure science. Sorry.
I don't understand the vinyl craze. Like it's and people tell me it's such a crisp, pure sound. I'm like,
No, it's not.
no, it's not. It's in mono. I'm a CD guy. Give me this a stereo, just crisp sound, and then of course for convenience, streaming. Like even like, dude, I used to have cassette tapes when I was a kid, and you had to tape
Yeah.
them.
You get the
Do you know how many-
pencil and rewind it because it was all fucked up. I did that a lot.
Or it got fucked up. You had to like tape it together because the
Yeah.
tape broke. Whatever.
I
Anyways,
agree with sound quality for sure. I think it's more nostalgic for people. And
It's
it makes them
totally
feel-
nostalgic, and I respect that. Don't get me wrong. And if you're talking pure scientific quality, sound quality,
oh, dude, my brother-in-law, my
CD.
sister's husband,
Yeah.
and I got into this like almost got in a blow. Scott, you met Scott, Chris.
yep.
Little 5'0" guy standing up to me to talk about music. But
Is that right? Is he ripping on you?
oh
with
yeah,
sound
well, dude,
quality?
we were
Oh,
gonna
man.
go blow to blow because he was insisting on me that vinyl was the best sound, and I'm like, look, just because you wasted thousands of dollars on vinyl, I said, don't make the
And,
stupid
and
argument.
that's it. Guys are just hanging out of their vinyl collection because, like, my dad's got the Beatles White Album, and it's worth a lot of money. But he doesn't put it on a record player. He's got a fucking he puts it on Sirius XM.
No, you're gonna spend like so much money to just run that thing.
Yeah.
It's wild.
He has not gone out and bought a turntable. I can promise you that. And that's from
Yeah.
a 76-year-old man.
Tail, let me give you the opportunity, man. Everywhere where people can find you, what you're
Yeah,
doing, and
hit them
let's
socials.
try to pump you up as much as we can.
Awesome. You can find me at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Tail Frost. Yeah, that's basically it, really.
Tail Frost is a stage name, right?
Tail's a stage name for sure, yeah.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, there's no fucking way his name is Tail Frost.
No, I just thought about it. I was like, oh, it's right under Taylor. Oh, okay.
Look at you. Look at you. All right, Tail, we appreciate you, man. I'll keep looking out for new stuff that you're dropping. And I really do like your music. Really appreciate your music, buddy.
Awesome.
And you will end up on one of my playlists, I guarantee you.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Tail.
Thanks, buddy. That was good, man.
Yeah, nice guy.
Like that.
Nice
I'm
guy.
glad he made her in. We pulled it,
I know.
together.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I forgot to send you stuff. I'll send you stuff, though. He's got some good shit out there.
I'll
It
get
really
it.
does.
Check him out. I'm going to follow him now. I'm going to start following all these guys and figure out this fucking TikTok shit.
Yeah, you fucking need to. Anyways, dude, that's it. So I want to tell the people where they can find you.
Instagram at the Army Kris, TikTok at the Army Kris 71 until I can change my name, and that's good.
You can find me on Instagram at Ray Route. My TikTok is now at When the Music Matters. Of course, you can find us on YouTube at When the Music Matters. Download the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And we are going to end this show listening to Teo's. I think this is his newest song. At least this is the newest shit he's pushing on TikTok all the time.
Okay.
This is the song that, at least this is the song that I discovered and how I discovered Teo. This is Such Is Life. And until next week, this is When the Music Matters.
My mom thinks I'm fucked up, but she don't know I'm doing okay. I don't think it's that fucked up if I'm drinking, missing you every day. Just don't tell me to grow up, I won't listen to what you have to say. But for you I'm a sucker, pick the jack as I'm driving away. Yeah, the pain, it cuts real deep, I'm up all night, no sleep. These thoughts of havoc I wreak put me back together some sort of way, yeah. When the heart breaks, it doesn't break even. I'm here standing alone while you're leaving. It's a mess, but ain't such as life. I knew my gut instincts were right. When the heart breaks, it doesn't break even. I'm here standing alone while you're leaving. It's a mess, but ain't such as life. I knew my gut instincts were right. Piss you off and then you throw me out in the rain outside your house. Telling me you're done is just a little extreme. Rip my fucking heart or throw me out on the street. I got so many reasons to move on, but I'd rather rerun. Always thought I'd see you in white. Tell me why I gotta be the mean one. Your name, it runs my dreams. You wake me up in screams. I'm terrified. I need these drugs just to numb all the pain. When the heart breaks, it doesn't break even. I'm here standing alone while you're leaving. It's a mess, but ain't such as life. I knew my gut instincts were right. When the heart breaks, it doesn't break even. I'm here standing alone while you're leaving. It's a mess, but ain't such as life. I knew my gut instincts were right. You tell me goodbye, you yell at goodbye, you punch me and cry, but I'll stick around. You tell me goodbye, you yell at goodbye, you. I knew my gut instincts were right.
Yeah, dude, that's hard. Fuck, I hope Blink-182 hears this.